Hi, this is Sonia with Artsy Solutions, and I just want to quickly show you how I made these three photo tags. And they are of my sons when they were babies. And I basically used the Multimedia Crafts Digital FREEBIE fireworks, the paper kit for the papers. And this little tag comes out, and I created each photo in Photoshop. I scanned and cropped some images using the clipping mask tool, and I have a video on that if you'd like to learn how I did that. And I just basically used a ticket punch and added each of my son's names on here. And so here's each one, and they each come out, and you just insert their photo. Okay, so let me show you how I made it. So let's get started. So I'm making some little My Hero tags. They're going to have some pictures of my boys when they were just babies. So, and it's going to have the 4th of July theme. And I'm using some of the papers from my fireworks paper set that's on my blog, Multimedia Crafts Digital. And I'll have a link in the description for it. So basically what I'm going to do is I've used a circle punch for 3 inches, and I need it to cover. I'm going to make some photos of the boys in Photoshop, and they're going to be like 2 3/4 inches wide, so that it'll fit a 3-inch picture holder. So I'm just going to cut out some papers randomly. I'm not really measuring, so it's just going to be wide enough to hold 3 inches. I'm going to do one of that paper, one of this paper. I'm try to get some good pictures of it on here. I want a good print of it, so I'm going to use this one. Okay, so all of these are wide enough, so I'm just going to cut down this little white strip off the side of them, of each one of them. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in, and I'm just going to push the paper as far back as it'll go. I'm going to center it and push it as far back as it'll go, and then just punch a hole in it, and you just kind of line it up and look at it so I can see. And I'm going to do the same thing to each one of these. Just line it up in the center. Hole. And I'm still going to keep the circles that came from it. Okay, and I'm just going to distress some of the edges and stuff with some different color distress oxides. This one is Fired Brick by Ranger, Tim Holtz Ranger distress oxides. And I'm just going to kind of go around the inner part of this right here, like where the photos want to go. And then I want to distress the outer edges. And then I'm going to come back through with some Vintage Photo by Ranger. Basically do the same thing. And then I'm going to come in with some black soot by Ranger Distress Oxide. Oops, if I can keep hold of it. And this right here, I'm using this little sponge. It was originally a Color Box pepper pigment brush, but it's pretty much dried out, so I'm just using it as like a brush or a dauber. I'm just going to go around the edges with the black just to kind of bring it out a little bit more. And then I'm just going to go around this one with some blue. And this one is Broken China. This is also Distress Oxide. This is a really fun project, making something with my boys. They're right now, one's 10 years old and the other two are 23 and 24. They'll be 24 and 25 this year, that's right. So, but yeah, they grow up so fast. They're my little heroes, and that's what this theme is going to be about. It's a hero theme. I'm going to go over just a little bit of this brown Distress Oxide. And then I'm going to also go back over it with some black Distress Oxide. And I'm just going to go around this with brown and black. Okay, so now I'm just going to add some acetate to that. Okay, and I've got my acetate. It's from the Cricut Martha Stewart mixed materials ivory lace paper pad. Okay, and I have some, I think this is a 1/8 inch score tape. See that or not? It's 1/8 inch. It's really thin. It looks a little rough, but it's, well, is this the right one? Maybe it's not 1/8 of an inch. It's probably 1/16 of an inch. It's like super thin. But anyway, it does the job. So since these areas are thin, that's why I'm using it. So I'm going to put the score tape on the backs of these around the circles. I'm going to start close to the edge of the circle first. I would use wet glue, but it seeps out, so to me the score tape does so much better. And it sticks really well. I'm going to fast forward through the video, and then that way you don't have to cringe while you're watching me apply all this tape. Okay, so I got all of them glued up pretty well, and I'm going to add them to this acetate. So let me turn it around so I can see really well. So I'm just going to start by adding one at a time. Try to line it up. Just making sure that it sticks to it really well. This back part's going to get covered up so you won't see it anyway. And even if you have an overlap of acetate, that's fine, because we can cut that off. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the next one on right beside it. And just try to line it up to the top. And it's basically just to kind of cover up the circles. That's mainly what it's for. I'm going to go ahead and cut part of it off, going across. Because I didn't go all the way down, because I have plans to use the rest of the paper for something else. And I'm just taking the remaining the remaining paper off of it. Okay, so we have those. I'm going to try to create like some type of tab that can slide the photo down. So to give you an example, okay, so I want the photo to get centered. So I'm going to need something to pull it in and out of the slot. So this is approximately, I need one that's about 3¼ inches long. So if it's actually about 4 inches long. 4 inches by 3¼ inches. Let me get another 4 inches. I need to make it a little bit thinner, so I'm just going to take it down to about 2½ inches. So let's see if I have another 2½ inch laying around. Good, this is 2½ inches by 4 inches. So I have 3 of those, and then I'm just going to make some tabs for each. And I'm just going to make the tabs out of brown cardstock. I'm going to cut 2 tickets for each tab, so I need 6 tickets. And I'm using this thick ticket punch by Fiskars. That's one. Okay, so I'm just going to take some art glitter glue, and I'm just going to glue the tabs together. I'm going to put it in the middle, like this. Make sure it's straight. And I'm going to flip it around, add glue to another ticket. And then we're just going to line it up and glue it together. That way we'll have a tab that can bring this like in and out. Well, in and out, you know. So I'm just going to glue the rest of these together, and I'll be right back. Okay, so since these are going to go down in there, I'm just going to kind of measure, like eyeball measure it. I'm going to line up the ticket to the top, hold it in place, flip it around to see where it stops at in the back. Hold on. And then I'm just going to take a pen and mark where it stops. I mean, you can hardly see the line, but that's fine. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a pocket that's going to go right there. Yeah, it'll go right there. Basically up underneath the circle. So I just cut out 3 pieces of 1 inch by 3¼ inch. 3 1 inch by 3¼ inch, and I scored each one in the middle. And basically all I'm going to do is just cut a little piece on the corner where I'm getting ready to fold this up at. I should have also scored it at 1/4 inch across. It isn't too late, I can still do that. or a half of an inch actually, instead of just a quarter of an inch. Half inch. Half inch. Half inch. Half inch. Same thing here. I should have did earlier. Half inch and half inch. Then I'm just going to come in, since this is going to fold over, this is going to fold over into here. I'm just going to cut this at an angle, cut this at an angle. Same thing here, cut it at an angle where the score lines meet. Normally I would fold it on the inside, but I'm just going to fold it on the outside this time. I'm going to fold it and glue it on the outside. And basically, well, this was going to become a stopper, but it still might work. It'll still work. I'm going to add some double-sided tape and put this right here. I'm just going to try to center it. And so the whole goal is for when you go to put your image in here, make sure it's cleaned off, it'll stop. This will go down and it'll stop. You'll have your stopper right here. So I'm going to do these two the same way. Okay, so I'm just going to put these up against a backdrop. So I'm just going to distress it a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of blues and browns. So I'm just going to come in with some of this broken china distress oxide and just kind of go through and just randomly put some colors in there. It's not going to be perfect, but that's fine too. It doesn't have to be. It's just enough to give the frame like a contrast. So I've done blue, so now I'm going to come through with some brown. I think this time I'll use some walnut stain. Instead of this is distressed ink, but it's not distressed oxide ink. So I'm just going to do that. Just kind of lightly go in and put a little color on there. I really need to get some more sponges. or Daubers or whatever they're called. Okay. So now that we have that, I'm going to add these. And basically, I'm just going to use some more of this score tape. I don't have to have as much this time though, because it'll glue, it'll stay on. I'm going to use some of the sticker tape down here on the bottom. So now I'm just going to line this up. You want to make sure there's nothing on your on the circle on the inside. Okay, so this will go inside here. Okay, so this is what it'll look like. I'm just going to put this in here, and I've glued the front cover to some to a back page, and I'm getting ready to do these the same way. And I've already added some double-sided tape to both, and so I'm just getting ready to glue those onto here, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all three of them in there, and I've got my little slot that's going to pull the pictures out. So before I go any further, they're pretty long, and the tape that's combining the two sides only goes but so far. So I'm going to cut them down to approximately 7 inches because that's roughly where the tape combines the two, the back and the front. So I'm just going to cut it down, let's see, about roughly 7 inches. And if need be, I'll just glue it, any remaining opening part of it. So let's just go ahead and put this down to 7 inches. And I'm still keeping my leftover papers because I may use them in the journal that I'm building. Okay, so now I had some photos printed out. They were originally a little bit bigger than what they are now. I made them in Photoshop to fit an 8.5 by 11 inch paper, but when I had them printed out at Shutterfly, so it printed out on a 4 by 6, so the photos are a little bit smaller. They're roughly 2 inches, which is fine. So I'm just going to take my 2-inch circle punch and I'm just going to cut the photo out. Let me make sure I have it lined up right. There's one of them. Let me cut my other one out. I have to be able to get to it. So let me just cut down some of this excess. I'm just going to come in where I can see it. Punch it out. Do the same with this one. Okay, and so you'll see they're still a little small. So I'm just going to come in with a 2.5 inch punch. I think I'll use, let's see, some beige. Let me see what it will look like up against beige and then black. Yeah, I'll do beige. I'll try beige and then I'll try white and see what it looks like. So let me do this 2.5 inch punch. And I want to see what it'll look like. See what it will look like with the white backdrop. I might choose both. I'll use beige with some and white with the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and attach the photos to the circles. Move these out of the way. And I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. But before I do that, I need to distress these outer edges. I'm just going to use some walnut stain. so now I'm just going to take the glue. I'm just going to center it. You don't need a whole lot of glue, just enough to get it to stick. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom back out a little bit. And then I want to try to figure out where I want to position the photo so that it shows like literally in the middle. So what I did was I pushed this all the way down to where it's at the bottom, and I'm just going to hold the two in place so I know specifically where to glue it at. I'm just going to add some glue. I want to make sure that the picture is turned straight, upright. You may need to add some more glue behind it. Sometimes this tip just doesn't serve its purpose, so I'm just going to take it off because it's slowing me down. So I'm just going to come in, add a little bit of glue here, press that down. And I'm coming in with a dry rag to make sure that the glue doesn't bleed out. I want to do the same to the bottom portion of it. Make sure it's glued on there good. I'm just going to stick that down in there, and voila, we have us a little tag. I'm going to do these the same way, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I typed up and printed out my son's names on his little tags, and I'm just going to put them on there just to kind of make it look good, I guess. So let me get my glue. Oh my God, this glue just, sometimes it doesn't want to cooperate right. I'm just going to center it. Okay, so essentially they're basically done. So each one comes out. It has a little picture. My little stars. Get it in there, and I'm just going to add them to my book that I'm working on that ended up turning out to be too bulky. But that's fine. I'm just going to add them in here with some of my other things. Have to choose a good spot. But basically, yeah, it's just a nice little filler for your journals. So I hope you liked it. If you like this video, please like, share, comment, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.